Hello and welcome. Sorry for the delay. I was having a little bit of a technical issue this morning, so we're starting about 7 minutes late. I truly apologize. My computer decided to rather not do a webcast this morning. So this is the expert hour for 12/18/2014. This will be the last expert hour of 2014. Next year we will resume our weekly expert hours on the second week, well, the first week of January. So we have that to look forward to. Today, we will be talking about doing Salesforce report to Salesforce. I'll be using two separate orgs in this particular one. So now that we have gotten us started and everything like that, and like I stated, we're going to be using two different Salesforce orgs today. I have my NA9, and of course, there's a whole lot of display data on that, but we'll scroll all the way to the left. You can see I have my NA9 org. This is one of my developer accounts, and I'm borrowing a friend's, and he happens to be on NA15. So these are two completely separate developer accounts, NA9 and NA15. So what we'll be doing today is sharing some data between the orgs, right? So what I'll be doing is I'll set up a Salesforce report on my NA9 instance here, and we'll move it to our NA15 instance over here, which is really cool. I mean, imagine if we had just merged accounts or acquired a new company or something along those lines, and we want to share information from our Salesforce org to their Salesforce org. Or we can even do it with partners or something along those lines where we can send them a list of accounts and opportunities that they can follow up with. And then I can also have it create a contact related to that account. So we'll have a account, contact, and opportunity automatically sent over to one of our partners orgs. That way they can go ahead and talk to them and close that opportunity. Now we can set it so only certain orgs get this, and that way there's no manual process of saying, hey Jim, I've got an opportunity for you guys, let me go ahead and send you the information. This way we can just set it up so, hey, this is automatically going to sync over to you guys. You'll have new opportunities all the time. Just go ahead and check it. And I think I have actually a page layout that shows all this information as well. So that's kind of a couple of things that we're going to talk about today. And these are some use cases that we have people using. Another one that we have people using is a opt-out between orgs. So again, we could talk about multiple Salesforce orgs, and one of the things that come up is maintaining opt-outs between the orgs. So you can see each other, and you can see each other's opt-outs, and that way your data is synchronized across. That way you're not sending email to where you should not be sending email, where they've already opted out. So like I said, today we're going to be talking about those, and a quick brief thing about Syncfrog. So how does Syncfrog work? Well, we allow you to choose your source, and today, like I said, we'll be using Salesforce reports. But you can also use Google Spreadsheets, Google Forms, Salesforce Reports, SurveyMonkey, Twitter, and Typeform and Litmos are two new ones that we just haven't updated the graphics on. And we also have our targets: Infusionsoft, Dynamics, Marketo, Oracle, Salesforce, Sure CRM. And what we do is we'll allow you to define your map, and this could be multiple objects or multiple updates or creates. And that'll move your data from your source to your target. Really easy. And all accounts are created for free. So you can click on this nice little green button to give yourself a free account. And how much does this cost? Well, I know you're wondering that at home. Is our basic account, just like I stated, is free. So you get one login per connector. So today's use case really is not going to work for you. You'd actually need our silver, because you need a secondary login, one for one org and another for another. But we give you 3 logins per connector. at our silver price point. You also get 10 total data leaps. Well, what is a data leap? This question comes up all the time. A data leap is the process of sending information from one place to another. So sending the results of a SurveyMonkey survey to Infusionsoft would be one data leap. Basic version allows you to set up one data leap. The paid for allow more. Once a leap is set up, there is no limit to the actual amount of data you can send. Well, what does that mean, JP? That means we consider a data leap a set of mapping. So if I set up exactly that use case of a SurveyMonkey to Infusionsoft, that is the set of mapping, and that is one data leap. I can continually sync that data leap again and again and again. If I wanted to add a Google Sheets to Infusionsoft or Google Sheets to Salesforce, that would be another data leap. A data leap is a set of mapping. Now, there's no limit to how many items you can map to. However, it's the amount of data leaps. So hopefully that clarifies that a little bit. A lot of people have a sticking point with that of, what is a data leap? How many do I need? Do I need to purchase additional because I've already synced this one once? No, it is the set of mapping. So again, Salesforce to, Google Sheets to Salesforce would be one set, which would be one data leap. A SurveyMonkey to Infusionsoft, that would be a second one. So that should clarify that a little bit. So for today's use case, you'd be paying at least $99 per month, and you would get your manual, monthly, and daily scheduling. So you can schedule this daily to run. You get community and email support. And again, it is only $99 per month. The next jump after that, we're looking at $199 per month. And that is unlimited connections, unlimited data leaps, hourly scheduling, which is our smallest amount of time that you could possibly have. So we could have a data leap run every hour. So that could be, from org to org, or that could be a SurveyMonkey to Salesforce, a Google Sheet that you want to run every hour. It doesn't really matter what the source is, except it will just do, syncing every hour. And you also get priority email support as well with this one, and all packages have a community support. And we have a lovely community at help.syncfrog.com. And most of questions and use cases can actually be answered in here. And if you did have a question, you can easily click on that, post a public question, or you can just simply email us. Our email address is right there, and we will try and get back to you as soon as possible. Again, we check this all the time, and there is a ton of use cases for mapping to your CRM. So typically, if you have a question of how do I map X to Y, I will have a use case in probably a video or at least a text PDF that you could go through, and it'll show you exactly how to map and what to do. So there's a large library of information in here as well. And we also have our billing portal information, how do you go through your credentials, and actually stuff for just CRM admins. And one of the ones that we'll talk about today is that sandbox to production data leaping. So again, you can go ahead and search for whatever you need. Excellent. Now that I've said that, and again, we've talked about going from NA9 to NA15 today. So I'm going to take a look at a report. And the first one that we're going to talk about today is look at our account op and contacts for NA15 org. So what I want to do is, you can see that I've created a report, and I'll customize this particular one. Is we have our opportunity name, our account name, our first name, last name of our contact, their email address, the amount it's worth, the expected revenue. I don't need the last modified alias, the close date, the stage, and that information. So I don't need type, and I don't need a description today. Probably I added in. All right. So there's our report. Quite simple. This would be automatically sent over. So what I'm going to do is have Syncfrog create a new opportunity, new account, new contact related to this account, and have this account related to the opportunity with all this information as well. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to create our new data leap, and we're going to say our Salesforce report here, and we're going to be going to Salesforce, and we'll click on next here and tell it our credentials, and this is our credentials from our NA9 org. So there we go. Click on next here and tell it what report. So you can actually see browse through your report folders, and if you have access to it, you can see it. So under my personal, I have account op and contact for NA15 org, and you can see that that's what this one is called. And I will go ahead and run the report and save it. Okay. All right, so we have that particular one here. Excellent. So click on next here. And we'll tell it what credentials we're using, and this is the credentials for my other org here. And I'll call this example op for 12/18. We'll click on create here, and okay, take me to the mapping. That's going to bring up our mapping screen. So the very first thing we probably want to do is our account information here. So I'm going to be adding a new section here. Now we can do some cool stuff. We can just create a new account inside of that NA15 org, or we can actually update existing or create a new record, or just find them, or today I'm actually going to be, because I've already run this particular data leap several times. You'll see that this opportunity is already here because I ran it the other day. But today I'm just going to be creating new so we can see all this in action. So if I say new this week, we have 2 on the 9. So if I delete that so you can see, just deleting these opportunities. All right, cool. So you can see new this week, we have none. All right. And I've deleted both of those. So I'm going to be creating a new account, and then one of the first things I got to do is account name. So inside of our report, we have that lovely account name field. Awesome. That's pretty much all we need to do to create an account. Now we're going to move on to our contact, and that's going to be quite easy. So we'll click the drop down and then add new section here. And I will be creating a new contact as well. So our last name here. And I'm going to click this lovely auto map fields button. Watch this. Oh, excellent. So it's filled out most of our stuff for us. Well, now I'm going to do a little bit of trimming here. I'm going to go ahead and remove the bounce dates, bounce reason. I'm not moving opt-outs yet. And we have stage, which is not right for string fields. And we'll go ahead and remove those. You can see that it says account name to account ID. Well, that's not going to work for us, right? Because it's looking for the actual ID value from Salesforce. So in this account name, we're actually going to click that drop down and say reference one account. What that's going to do is from our very first mapping section here, it's going to grab our newly created account ID and use it in our contact mapping. So we're tying this contact to that newly created account inside the same data leap. So that's pretty sweet. So this is how we're creating our relationships. So we have our last name going to last name, email to email, first name to first name, and I think that's all we're doing. Is there anything else that we need? Nope, the rest of those are opportunity type stuff, right? Cool. So let's go ahead and do our opportunity. So we'll be creating or updating a new opportunity. And again, like I said, today we're just creating. So we'll look through our basic types here. You'll notice that Syncfrog does it real simply, and our basic types are all the most commonly used: account, campaign, case, contact, lead, opportunity, and task. Any advanced types, so if you had like a campaign member, if you wanted to add them as a campaign member or something along those lines, you can. Group member, opportunity, competitors, contact roles, all that good jazz, any of the advanced objects are going to be in there. Any custom objects actually are going to be at the bottom of this list. So you can see that I have an NPS object in here, a report card, a survey data, update, create new case, object. So all of your custom stuff is going to be here at the bottom. Cool. So again, I'm going to say opportunity and click on add new section. So this is going to be creating our new opportunity. So what do we need to create a new opportunity? Well, we need a close date, right? And that is our close date field. Now, one weird thing that you will see, and let me go ahead and give it the name. So name to name and then stage, right? So we have our stage. So that's what the information that we need to put in to just create a new record. I'm going to tie an account and everything, but so our close date here is going to a date field inside of Salesforce. If you look at my report, and I bring that one back up again, you can see my close date is in the month, day, year format. Well, if I'm adding this information into Salesforce, this is not going to work. Salesforce is not going to take it in a month, day, year format. It actually needs it in year, month, day. I know it's confusing, but not to worry. Syncfrog's got this cool transform ability. So we can see create a value transform. We'll click that lovely little blue button, and it's going to give me a dialog box of what's going on. So our source date format, and we're doing just a date transform today, is month, day / year, as it is on our report. And we want it in year dash month dash day, as that's the way their API takes information. So that's sweet. And if we were going into like a date, time, or something like that, you can actually do it too, as hour, minute, second, or Z. Or if your connector took it in a particular way like that. But since we are just doing information like that, year dash month dash day. Awesome. So that automatically is going to transform our date field into the proper format. Cool. And we're also going to map a new field here. So what else do we want on our opportunity? Well, account ID, and we can see that it's account ID reference. Cool. So again, I'm going to use that lovely reference value, and that will bring our account ID into the account ID. Now I can also map additional fields. So if I wanted to put any of these probabilities or our lead source, if we have added that in, since it's a pick list, I can say other org or something like that. And the way I would do that is just a fixed value, and we can say JP's org. So that would automatically add it in. Syncfrog does something cool, is if you're doing pick list values, it will actually add what you put into the pick list. So that way your pick list values are always constantly being updated. Cool. All right. So let me apply that. And we'll say, yes, I know. And so we've applied our data lead. Now let me scroll down my big long list. You can see I've done a ton of different testing on this. You can see some, Google form to sugar, some Oracle stuff, and here's an example op for 1218. That's the one we just did. Now we can go ahead and click on activate. Now, since I'm using a gold account for this, I can create a schedule. And again, this is what the scheduling looks like. You can set your frequency, hourly, every hour, daily, what days, also what time zone you're in. So you can set that appropriately. And, weekdays or weekend, every day, and all that good jazz. So again, pretty powerful. And then weekly and what days and what time. So, weekly on Tuesdays if you wanted. And I'll go ahead and click on remove and click on run now. So that's going to grab our report data, and you can see it says fetching Salesforce report data. And it's going to grab that one record for us. Excellent, one record processed. You can see this is our post detail information. We have did a manual run for one total record. We finished this. And also, we can do something really cool is we can actually have your successes dumped straight into a Google spreadsheet, and then it'll give you your information, or you can actually download it as a CSV and keep it locally. The Google spreadsheet way is really, really kind of cool. Is you can also do this with errors. So if we got a failure or something along those lines, it'll say failed. How many records failed? You can actually dump it straight into a Google spreadsheet, and you'll get a report of exactly what happened, and that way you can convert it. So say if my email address was missing or something along those lines, um, you can see that my success happened and created the account and the account ID, the contact ID, and the opportunity ID. But if it had a failure, it'd say failed, and then what happened. So if my email address wasn't there or something along those lines, you could go ahead and enter this information again, and then just re-upload and say run from data. And it's really simple. So the same kind of information is in this view log details. It just shows you in the app, and it actually gives you the ID value. So here's the actual account ID. It's created inside of that other org, the actual contact ID and the opportunity. So if I go into the other org, I can actually copy and paste those into the last values. So cool. We can click on OK here. And again, if we wanted to, we could run it from data if we had to fix stuff or wanted to resync that for whatever reason. You can go ahead and do that just by clicking run from data. And it's smart enough to know what spreadsheet to use. So it knows that, hey, I did an export to this particular Google address. And inside of Drive, they have this particular spreadsheet. Or I can actually say, show all, and that would show my big, giant, long list of spreadsheets if you had renamed it or something along those lines. Or, again, you can use that CSV file. So pretty cool stuff. I'm going to go ahead and click on cancel here and cancel here. So if I look at our opportunities, we have opportunities new this week. And if I hit the refresh button, there it is. And I forgot to map the amount button. Awesome. So if I want to do that, and like I said, I forgot to map that amount button. So if we go into our mapping and I say opportunity, yep, I'm a fool, and I forgot that. So we say amount, going to amount currency. Now, one thing you'll notice is I have expected revenue, right, on my report. Expected revenue right there. However, inside of my mapping, we don't have a expected revenue field. The reason being is that's actually a formula field that Salesforce has, so I can't map directly to a formula field. So that's one thing that kind of throws people off. So we have our amount to amount currency. I click on apply here. And again, I can rerun that data leap. So we'll go to here, I'll click on activate, and I'll say run from data. And I will select that same Google spreadsheet and click on run. All right, so we have our record process, and again, we can see that view log details. We can see that with our mapping, I have it set to create. So it's going to create a duplicate. If I wanted to not have it create duplicates, I could just do an update existing clause on that stuff, and it would just update it. So if I go back to my opportunities, refresh it, and give Salesforce a minute for it, there it is. So that's our new one here. And so we have our opportunity, strangeness in the wilderness, our account name, the amount, close date. You can see that it's properly formatted for viewing again in their stage. So let's click on that. You can see that it uses our default owner, and I can actually set that if I as well using a fixed value, or if it was on the report somehow or something along those lines. And we have our account name, so there's Clicktools, and created by, and our lead source. Like I said, it says JP's org, so they know it came in from there. And any of these fields actually can have mapped out except for that lovely expected revenue. So cool. So if I go into the Clicktools org account here, you can see that I have my opportunity. And there's my contact. So there's my contact name, my opportunity, and that was all created off of that same exact data leap. Pretty cool. So use case of this is, again, sharing opportunities from one org to multiple. So if you have partners or anything along those lines, or distributors and stuff like that. Now I'm just using opportunities, but this could be anything from like a product line or price book, um, products, or even projects. It's all kind of the same exact thing. But this is just a simple example of that. Now, another use case that we had talked about was doing a contact opt-out. So what this would do is update opt-outs across orgs. So if we take a look at the mapping here on this, is you can see that update existing or creating a new account using the account name field. And then from there, we have a contact being updated, existing, or creating new using their email address and some logic to it. If I find multiples, what do you want me to do? And we'll use the last modified. And again, we use those last name and that handy dandy referencing ID values, their email, and then email opt out. So we have our opt out box checked here and our first name. So that's really, really simple setup of mapping, right? You have your account. So that really will just, either create it or find it. And the same thing with the contact, and that will also do opt-outs. This is really cool, is as it's a Boolean checkbox, and I'm passing a opt-out, and I'll take a look at the report here. And we have contact opt-out. You can see that some people are checked and some people are unchecked on this report. This would actually update it. So if they opted back into your email schema or anything along those lines, it will uncheck the box on the CRM side. So if I go to this particular contact here, Luke Maduke, and we'll do a little control click thing, and he's going to opt back in, right? So he's opting back in. Cool. All right, so he opted back in. If I run the report, you can see, okay, it's opted back in. Now inside of our mapping here, we're going to keep it exactly the same. So just to run through real brief once again, is I'm either updating existing or creating new on the account name field. And with the contact, we're using their email address to locate them. So we'll go ahead and apply on that. Well, there's nothing to apply because it's already there. And I will exit that. Again, go through my big long list that I've got to take care of one of these days. And we'll click on activate. And we'll click on run now. And you saw me just update that report, rerun it. So it's going to grab that same exact report. So here it grabs that Salesforce report data and goes through all 6. Cool. All right, so we have 6 records done, 6 successes. So if I go back to this org and I search for the same exact person using their email address, you can see that their contact has been updated and the opt-out is not checked. So if I was to update this org, rerun that data leap, this box would automatically be checked again. So that's how you can keep your opt-outs concurrent across multiple orgs. Now, this could be production sandbox, any Salesforce org to Salesforce org. Even fancy stuff like if you had a Salesforce report and you're going to a Sugar instance or MS Dynamics, we can actually do that. Create contacts, update accounts, all kind of cool stuff like that from Salesforce to another CRM, which makes it very handy dandy for those people that are sharing information across multiple CRMs. As long as you can create a Salesforce report on it, we can send it over to something else. So, excellent. Well, I'm available for any questions. All you have to do is click on that group chat button that is in your screen, and I can go ahead and answer for that for anything. This is, again, just using reports from one Salesforce org to another, but the information that we're providing here is good for even using Google spreadsheets or anything along those lines, anything that you actually really want to get information into your CRM. All right. Well, thank you for attending the Syncfrog Expert Hour for 12/18/2014. I hope you have a wonderful holidays and a happy new year. We will see you on the other side of this year. So thank you for attending and have a wonderful day.